All right, welcome back. You are watching this video because you are on the fractured value project. So this project shouldn't take you very long. The first step is that you drew an object nice and large on a sheet of paper. I chose a frog. You can choose anything that you like. There's a stool you can do, any kind of animal, simple object. Just make sure you draw it well and it's recognizable. That's one of the things I ask, is that I am able to see what the heck this thing is, okay? So once you have your object drawn, best you can, then you're going to take a straight edge. Once again, if you don't have a ruler, you can use a pencil and use that as a straight edge. You can use a folder edge, anything that has a nice flat straight edge for tracing, okay? So I'm going to begin by breaking this up into fractures. So fractures are just imagine a broken glass of how it spiders out. And I'm going to just draw lines across my paper. And that didn't go. And then I'm going to just I don't have to always go across my sheet. Say I want to start at this line and go this way. Honestly, it looks a lot better when you don't have lines that just continue across. It looks more broken, and broken is what you want. So, and you are gonna go across your picture that you drew to break up the plane. Keep going until there aren't huge areas. Like this area is way too big. It needs to be broken up into smaller shapes, triangles, polygons, pentagons, octagons, all those kinds of shapes. On my frog, I have lots of stranded lines. So like his mouth has a stranded line. It doesn't continue or connect to anything. You're gonna wanna make sure some of those connect over, or just leave them as is as a line. So if you have stranded lines like my wrinkles in his legs, his nostril, his smile, you leave them as lines or connect them so that they're a part of a fracture, if that makes sense. Otherwise you might run into like, oh, what do I do now? Well, figure it out. Problem solve. You are a smart person. Okay. Once you have your picture fractured, this is what line it looks like working on. You're going to start using value. So you'll notice that we're not actually shading the frog to make it look three-dimensional. We're practicing those blending, hatching, scumbling, cross-hatching, stippling. We're practicing all of the value techniques we just learned and putting it onto this sheet of paper. So it can be random, organized, however, just make sure you use all of the techniques, all 5, I believe it should be 5, and more than once. So I don't want to just see stippling in one spot. I don't want to see scumbling in one spot. It has to be all over somewhere. Okay, I want to see that you know what you're doing. And if it's done right. So this is another practice of learning how to do these before we actually do a big final. Okay, so how do we exactly figure this out? How do we do it? So if I'm choosing a shape, any random shape, and with these lines of my frog, so this right here is its own shape. It connected, so there's no open gaps. This would be a shape. This little tiny piece is a shape. His toes are a shape, but it stops where there's another line. So you gotta look at every little piece separately. So if I'm choosing this one, say I'm doing blending, I'm staying within my shape. Going from dark to light. Extreme dark, So all values, I want to see a gradual change. Use your Q-tip or paper towel to smudge. This is the only one that requires smudging because all the rest are line techniques. I'm going to have to go back. Okay, and if I get inside of another shape, I'm erasing, making sure it's nice and clean, and it's nice and even. Okay, then when I'm done with one shape, I go to the next one, but I cannot do the same thing. I have to flip the side that's dark and flip the side that's light. So if I'm choosing this outside one and I'm doing the same thing, I can do two blendings next to each other. I can choose the dark on this side, the light on this side, but they have to seem separate. I'm trying to explain it the best I can as far as how to exactly flip it. You just don't want to have a pattern or it all just blend together. You have to have a solid line that divides it. That's what makes it seem like a fractured picture, like it's a piece of broken glass. Smudge this one. Once again, you notice I'm working on the left side of my paper first because I don't want my hand smudging across because I'm right-handed. Think about it. Also, I'm having my pencil in a very comfortable position for myself. Okay, and if I get it inside of another shape like his toe, I need to erase it so there's nice, clean, straight edges. It's important that there's nice, clean, straight edges for this project to work. Okay, so it flipped. I might add a little more darker edge here so it's visible that these are two separate shapes. Okay, and then say in his toe, this time I want to do stippling. So I'm gonna stipple dark on one side. The closer the dots, the darker it is. And then the further apart the dots, the lighter it is. Do hatching here, so closer the lines, darker, and further apart, the lighter. Make sure those lines go all the way across. Okay, so I'm flipping what end my dark and light are on so that they don't all just blend together. So if you look at my example again, you notice that I kept on flipping what side. Say this end was light, well that meant this side had to be dark touching the light. You'll notice it all over. So I have all my techniques and I will post this picture when I am done. If you have any questions, let me know. Other than that though, find your object you're drawing, fracture it up with these lines, and then just start practicing your values of all the line techniques and blending. Okay?